Welcome to my daily review. Today is Wednesday, August 13th. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which continues to melt up. Today it was up another 31 points or 0.14%, closed at 21,713. And if I give you the track price, I can tell you that it's 6.2% above its 50. 2.9% above its 21 and 0.9% above the 5 EMA. Yeah, closed at a new high, made a new high of 21,803. So it continues to make new highs, but it was not the star of the show today. That would be the IWM, which is up nearly 2%. So this is telling us that the market is anticipating lower interest rates from the Federal Reserve here at the next meeting in September. And it better get it, or we're going to have a temper tantrum. But with the IWM, which is a little more risk, smaller stocks, this is taking off here this week. Had a nice week so far, up 4 or 5%. So yeah, lower interest rates are being priced into this market, and I'm not really, I'm interested in indexes, as you know. I'm interested in stocks. So I'm just going to start with a couple of names here with Google. One that the closer it gets to that five, the better I like it. It closed 0.6% above the five today, which is over 200 now, 272. So yeah, Google should be on our ready list, but I didn't put it on. Same with Meta. But Meta moved yesterday, had that move out of that wedge, pull back a little bit. Today it's 0.6% above its five too. So those two are looking pretty ripe for mm, later this week. Although today we saw that rotation into the smaller cap names out of the AI stocks into some of the IWM is like 18% financial, small regional bank stock. So they're going to get some love too. And if you have a portfolio full of AI stocks, then you probably got hit today, as I did. That's the way it goes. That's why I always say you need a little bit of non-AI stuff in there too, just for days like today. All right, another name that I like, Tesla, just kind of flat today, trading tight within the base. I like that. Still 1.6% above that five, but you can see the five is rallied through the 200. The 21 is about to. So this thing's starting to this trend, this nice trend off these lows here. Still consolidating within a base, broke above this downtrend line here last week, I believe. Was it Monday or last week? I think it was, yeah, Friday, and then carried through this week. So it's had a decent week so far, I believe. Yeah, up nearly 3%, but still bigger move to come. All right, and the last one is Netflix. Not a Mag 7 stock, but still a large tech stock. Got rejected there at the 50 today. And like I always say, you got to be from Missouri, and you got to make these things show me. And what I see right now is just, this thing being rejected at the 50, and you could see the faster term moving averages have not traded through the slower term. So wait for that. Let it go sideways for a couple days and make it prove itself. All right. Today's that's enough for the large cap tech stocks. Today's video, I want to go through some of the earnings reports, some news related items, some themes, and then some of the stocks that I had on my post parade this morning. And then tonight's earnings action. All right. Speaking of news, SPNS got bought out. It's way up here. I was looking for it like around here at 35. I said, nope, it's way up here. Yeah, 42.68 was the high. Nice 44% premium on that buyout. A couple of earnings reports from this morning. HBM reported. I would say that's a nice response. And whenever I see, this is obviously a strong stock in this mining group. I look around for some of the other names. They maybe that I wouldn't call pin action. This is a 13 billion stock compared to the little HBM, but still, this one's surfing its five. Very strong name, one of the leaders. And if you don't want to own all AI stocks, this is a nice group to park some money in. But HBM, nice day today, following its earnings report. Yeah, and it's a 4.4 billion market cap as opposed to MP, which was 13. But anyway, pin action is pin action. CAVA is giving the bad juju to the retail restaurant names. Talk about pin action the other way. Yeah, CAVA just kind of sunk. They had 8% same store sales estimated, and then they lowered it to 2%. So yeah, slowing business there at CAVA, and it hit some of the other names. I don't want to go through them though. CoreWeave is another one. If you just look at Coors, the stock that the company that they bought for 9 billion in stock, it's 4.2 billion. That's telling you they don't believe that CoreWeave stock is worth what it's trading at. And so I think this thing was just going to sell off regardless of the, got pretty strong 200% sales growth, but doesn't matter. The Wall Street's going to sell that stock. So the pin action there was in Nebius, and I think this is an opportunity here. I told a few people that contacted me today that were kind of struggling, like, what do I do? Well, this is still an AI stock, so you're not getting AI, but this is a pullback on that pin action from CoreWeave to its 5 EMA. I think that's a gift because this one wants higher prices. LITE reported last night. Yeah, nice move today. They got the old okey doke though because it opened higher and then whoop, yeah, it was 130, 130 at 10 minutes in, and not too much later, less than 2 hours into the session, it's at 117. And that's the old okey doke. These earnings, you see these really wild moves, man. It's hard to stomach these things. Brinker International, this is Chili's and Maggiano's had a little better day of it than Cava, but rallied up to the 50 and then got the Matombo treatment there. You can see it on a 5-minute chart there. Yeah, it opened up higher and then just got slapped down, rejected. Don't come in here with that weak stuff for Brinker. And still ended up higher in the day, but yeah, rejected there at the 50. Matombo strikes again. All right. I want to get to some of the names that I had on my ready list this morning that are in the semiconductor space. And semiconductor names, PI was one of them. I like that little wedge pattern. We've seen that work a lot recently there. This little pullback to the 5 and then blasted higher. It's had a nice week this week so far, up 11%. We'll take that. AMD was another one that I had on the ready list. Same kind of a principle here, a little wedge pullback, and then popped higher. This thing popped higher on news. And I've been saying it for a while. I think AMD is just a little better buy than NVIDIA right now. I know everybody wants NVIDIA and likes NVIDIA, and Jensen's the king, but I don't know. I just think this thing has more room for growth. That's all. ALAB, just a beast, wants higher prices. What AI correction? This thing is just a monster stock. Just great earnings report, and the institutions are buying that stock. Rambus, same thing, just relentlessly, pursuing higher prices. All right, that's it for the semiconductors. A couple of finance names. I did mention that IWM was hiring a lot of finance names. This is what's telling you kind of, lower interest rates might be coming. And I've got some more names in this area. Rocket, they're going to merge with Mr. Cooper, and they're kind of trading the same. These are stretched. I wouldn't suggest buying this way up here. I know if you're searching for non-AI names, this is a good one, but it's 6.5% above the 5. Easy Corp, EZPW. These payday loans, pawn shop essentially. People, that are not doing quite so well and need help through some rough times. They go to these places and they take a fee, a percentage or whatever. And anyway, this thing's trading higher and it usually does well in tougher environments. HBAN, I did mention these banks, they're getting some pop now, getting some love. This one undercut the 50 and rallied back through. It broke above this downtrend line here. HBAN breaking above the downtrend line today as it rallies through the 50. So yeah, nice move. I'm not interested in these bank stocks though. Sorry. PNC, another one. This one touched down to its 50 and now it's rallying. So those ones look good in the financial space. Okay, I'm going to get out of here because I did mention that, lower rates are going to prompt, some stocks, these rate sensitive stocks to trade higher. And this is DR Horton, more evidence that the market is looking for lower rates. And Pulte Home just blasting out of this little consolidation period. But if you look at the bigger picture, take a step back, as Phil Lesh would say, or Bob Weir. Nice cup shape pattern, and just it's having a nice week. But to me, this is just one to watch, and it's got further to go on the upside. AWI, I mentioned this one yesterday, a flooring company. There's that little wedge again, right? Rallies up, whoop, forms this little wedge. You got to salute that flag, and then it just punches higher. And then Builder First Source, these home related names getting some love here. This one now rallied above the 200. What you want to see here, if you own this or if you're thinking of buying it, you want to see this 5 and the 21 trade through the 200 and get that stacked uh, moving averages. And I think this one's going higher as well. It's just you got to be a little patient. When you're picking stuff up near the bottoms, you got to be patient. This one's actually building the right side of the base and looks like it's going to hit into a stage two advanced phase. That's Builder First Source. Okay, the crypto names obviously with the AI have been super hot lately. This is Bitmine, Immersions. This thing's just it's gone berserk here. If we take a look like at let's call it a 30-minute chart maybe. Yeah. This thing went from what, 30 to 71 this morning. And when it got to 71, it said, I've had enough. I need a break here. So yeah, not too long ago, is it 30, 31 here? What is this? August 5th. Today's August 13th, and it hit 71. So it just needs a breather. I think it's going much higher. A lot of big money in this one. It just got a little extended from its five. There you can see it's today the five was 55, 56. Yesterday was 52, and Monday was 47. So it's already moved, $8 this week. Probably be about, 60 tomorrow, 62 by Friday. Probably pull back to that green line and bounce. Heck, it's up $1.50 after hours already. So yeah, this one just wants higher prices. It's got a 7 billion market cap, 6.9 now, but they did a 20 billion to buy essentially about 5% of the Ethereum. And Ethereum's trading at 4,700. So you can do the math. 5% of 4,700 is not $63. So I just think it's going higher. Galaxy, this is another wild trader. You have to know what you own here when you're buying this stuff. To me, I just can't hold on to these big telephone poles. I like tight trading stocks. This is not it. I'll show you one in a minute, but this ain't it. So what you do here with this one is you have to, and for me, because I can't tolerate, my stocks going down. You sell when it spikes here, and then buy when when it dips, and then you sell when it rips, and then you buy when it dips. You sell when it rips, and you buy when it dips. Today, this is a sell. It hits $30. You got to get rid of it. Close at 28.34. It's probably going to come back to that 5 EMA, which it did today. Yeah. So it just got a little bit ahead of itself, then pulls back. That 5 is acting like a magnet. Actually, the 21 is continues to find support at the 21. But yeah, this is classic buy dip, sell rip stock. And definitely one, it's a booty call. It's not a wedding. You don't want to marry that thing to give you a heart attack. You need a Dramamine for that motion sickness. What else do we have here in this group here? Oh, Coinbase is another one that big rip in the morning and then sold off. And this is, the kind of action that drives me crazy, right? Because you think you got a, big move coming, a big gap up, yippee-ki-yay, we're going to the moon. You know, you go out and ride your bike, you take a swim, you walk your dog, you go to work or whatever you do. You're going, okay, it's at 3:45. I'm in the pink, right? Or I'm in the chips. And then not too much longer, it's 3:22. So take all the wind out of your sails. No soup for you. I mean, it still ended up 1.3%, but it's just and if you're playing options calls on the long side, you got to sell those spikes, especially, these weekly or, monthly calls. Get rid of that thing. Don't hang on to it. All right, I went through the earnings. I went through the Semiconductors, the finance. I went through the cryptos, the home builders. Oh, the energy names. Energy, obviously, this country needs a ton of energy, but these stocks are not going to go straight up unless it's Bloom Energy that just wants to go straight up. This thing moved from what, 16 back in April to 44. So this thing's been on a heater, way extended, way stretched out, 9% above the 5. GEV, this one that I trimmed a little bit today, I had to. It's first of all, I have too much AI stuff, so I trimmed app and hood, and this one forming this little wedge pattern, which has been pretty successful here. And it pulled back to the 21. It needs to find support though, and I can always buy whatever I sold, I can always buy it back. But I just had to lighten my AI burden today. The burden was heavy. You love it when they're going up, but when they come down, it's like, okay, I think I'm going to trim a little bit here. Um, and the last one in this group is OKLO, which got some contracts in the Department of Energy. Once again, had this little wedge pattern here as it pulled back to the 21 and popped on Tuesday, fell back 1.34%. Another one that just had these, this wild action, it looked like it was really going to ramp on that news. I think a lot of retail folks diving in here at 83, and then it closed at 77. So, yeah, you got to be careful out there. Fools rush in. I always say, wait a half hour, let them show their hand, just like when you're playing cards, you want to see, the other hand, right? See what they have. If they've got, if you've got two face cards, you're not going to hit, right? Um, let's see what the is happening here in the defense names. I did put this on my ready list this week. I like the action here. First pull back to the 50 since the breakout, and it broke above a downtrend line here. So this has got a couple of reasons for me to be thinking about buying it and having a nice week this week. I can't say that for all the defense names, but this one's up 2%. KTOS, this is one that's on our relative KTOS. It's on our relative strength, but it's just pulled back to the 5 today. And GE, this to me looks like these options expirations. Friday is this Friday, and we're starting to see some shenanigans. And we saw it here. GE pull back to the 21 today. We saw a lot of, wonky stuff here. App Lovin pulling back to the 5, pulled hard today, down $20. Robinhood, this one pulled back to the 5 as well. Whoops, a little bit more, maybe the 10. Up after hours. They had news after hours. They reported, the business is going well. I'll have more on that in the morning, but I think it could rebound a little bit tomorrow. What else do we have here? Oh, the biotech names. The wriggle is going to wiggle, man. This one wants to wiggle higher. Just popped out of that base. I put this on our power earnings gap video on this day when it a couple of weeks ago when it popped out of that base with volume 23%. So that one looks good. INSM, this is the one with the FDA approval yesterday. Tacking on to gains from yesterday. That looks pretty darn good. CELC, another biotech name. Surfing the 5 like Kelly Slater. That one looks good. LQDA. And I know people don't like these, and I get it. They don't have a lot of sales, they don't have a lot of earnings. It's highly speculative. And I'm just saying technically, as long as it's above the 5, it's okay. And they're trading higher. OCUL. I have a friend who has got a good portion in this one. And TGTX, he's not too happy with TGTX, but this one's performing well for him. Just the one pull back to the 21. This one's surfing the 5 to higher prices. And then last but not least, our our retail group, Tapestry, surfing the 5. This thing's super strong. Gosh, 113 now. I thought I'd have trouble at 100. It just wants higher prices. GIL making a new high today, showing strength. And the last one is, it's a food stock, so I'm going to throw it in there with the retail group, LWAY Lifeway Foods. 459 million market cap. This is a micro mini stock, but making new highs. That's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, ever. In honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have two more things. One is the IPO market is really picking up. And that's healthy overall for the market. It's a good sign that underwriters are bringing these companies to market. The companies have confidence in the market to come to market, and their companies will be treated well. Their stock will be treated well. This is Figma. This one had a big run up to 142. It's pulled back, and that's typical for IPOs. They need a little bit of a track a record, and very few of them hit the ground running and just take off. And this is bullish crypto name that not too bullish today. Hit up 118, closed at the low of 68, the very low of the day. All right. What else do we have? Oh, I wanted to go through some of the names that on my post parade video in the mornings that I'm trying to get posted by 6 a.m. It's kind of tough to compile all the information, but I'm doing the best I can. This is new egg, and I mentioned this pattern here, a very clear pattern where it ramps up and then pulls back to this moving average, forms this little wedge. Ramps up, pulls back to the moving average, forms this little wedge, ramps up. Now, I didn't know it was going to go up 24% today, but it was definitely following the pattern and had an inside day yesterday. And that's as it pulled back to the five, and that's why I talked about it this morning. I don't think I put it on my ready list. It's thin. It's really thin in that it's got only 1.4 million shares in the float, which is nothing. But this thing has really ramped. You can see here from $3 to 91. So yeah, I don't even know what's going on here. I know there's a lot of insider buying anyway. On the flip side of that one, we had Bros, which, it wasn't bad today. It just got caught up in that CAVA, downtrend for retail restaurants, but it's still forming this little wedge pattern. You can see the five, which is the green line, is traded through the 50, and you could see this magenta line, the 21. Shortly we'll trade through that 50. So you're going to have stacked moving averages trending in the right direction. I think it's going to, resolve higher. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to pop above 80 or anything like that, but I think it's just going to continue to form this base, build the right side of that base and continue higher. That's Dutch Bros. VRT, another AI stock that I had, and it just got hit with the AI group today, down to the 21 power. This one was the first pullback to the 50 since the breakout from this cup with handle pattern, ran up to 424. Now it's pulled back to the 50. I think that's a gift. I would put that on my ready list tomorrow. I believe, it is a data center play, AI stock, but yeah, I'm trying to give you a little bit more than just that. TMDX is another one that I like. Had an inside day yesterday. You can see the five is traded through the 50, like Dutch Bros, but the 21 is still needs to trade through and it's forming a base. This is much like Dutch Bros, but it needs a little more time building the right side of that base. So that's good. We're in the base building process, so not everything's extended, like Reddit. Everything can't be like Reddit, which just wants higher prices. This thing's ridiculous. Nice report, real strong earnings report. Institutions are buying it. They don't buy all at once, but man, they like Reddit, believe me. And a couple other names that I mentioned this morning, Garmin was one, trading tight within a base near a moving average. That one popped nicely. ALV Auto Live, another one trading tight within the base, pulling back to moving average, and that one popped. So, there's still a lot of stock set up here nicely. This one's up nearly 6% this week. And the last one is FNV, definitely not an AI stock. Based on base pattern, showing the ability to run though. It ran from 114 up to 178. Now it's got a base on base pattern near the top of that base. That one looks pretty good. And then tonight's earnings, Cisco Kid, up slightly after hours. We'll take that. Trading near a buy point here. Yeah, near $70. Pulled back to that five. Huh. Earnings out of the way. This is not a fast mover. It's a slower mover, but you can't have, well, I guess you can. But for me, I like some slow moving stocks, some fast moving stocks. I like some diversification with my AI. I don't like to have all AI stocks. Um, so there's other ways to diversify than just, the group. There's a size difference, smaller stocks versus larger stocks. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. DLO reported tonight. This is Uruguay finance credit card payment stock up 20% after hours. Yippee-ki-yay, we'll take that above 1258. That's a breakout. So that one will be on watch for a power earnings gap. Red Robin's Gourmet Burgers make you hungry? Not really, but it's up 8% after hours. So I don't know. It's got a 1 million market cap. This is a flea of a company, a fly. And then tomorrow morning we'll hear from Deere. I'll have information on all this stuff tomorrow morning. Deere's just been going sideways forever. They report, so does AMCR. Reports in the morning. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts. Like I said, I'll have all this in the morning. And UK sandal maker from way back, one of the oldest companies. Geez, this thing's like from the 1800s, right? Before the stock market was even invented. And they report tomorrow. Just trying to look at this IPO, and it's trading kind of sideways. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. At mcstockcharts.com, we never give up.